Hi guys, welcome back to Train Sim World 4. We're actually on episode 4. This time instead of doing the Antelope Valley line, we are going to go to the United Kingdom. But we'll still be driving an American locomotive. While technically this is in the United Kingdom, we're going to be driving the Class 66, which was constructed by General Motors. We can find it. This says it's the... here it is. All the others seem to have the Class 801 of the LNER. This is the only one that seems to have the 66. And although it has the hardest difficulty, it also seems to have one of the shortest mission times of 50 minutes. Help out with yard work as part of your freight training. All right, let's do it. I'm a little surprised though, since we're in the UK, they don't usually refer to freight as freight. They just call it goods. Like a freight train would just be called a goods train. And freight cars, they generally call trucks or wagons. Ooh, spring sale. I liked what I saw there. There's a cool collection of engines from BNSF and Union Pacific. Okay, so it looks like we are starting off at the station platform here. We'll be performing freight duties as part of your driver exercises. Talk to Emily to get started. What? Thomas the Tank Engine characters here? We get to talk to the green engine? Why is it not letting me go anywhere? Okay, here we go. I guess you have to hit X or square first before you can start walking. Hi, driver. Today I've got some yard work for you to complete as part of your freight operations training. Drive the locomotive waiting for you at the platform to the yard to get started. And we only have one option for that. Sounds good, so let's choose that. I wonder how she would react if we're like, no, I'll pass. We'd probably get fired and then the mission would be a failure. And it looks like we already have somebody waiting for us. And it looks like we are inserting the reverser handler. Reverser handle out. Okay, got that set up. Set the engine run switch to on. Though it sounds like it's already running. Set the generator field switch on, which is this thing. And then this also has to be turned on. This is the fuel pump. Set up train. Set headlights to day running. Where is that? Up here, of course. See, I was looking for that. Day running. Perfect. Set the reverser to forward. That's pretty easy. Then, hold the automatic brake and release until the brake pipe dial reads at least 4.8 or higher. Well, in the training session we did previously, it wanted us to get it up to 5. Wait for the brake cylinder dial to read 0, which I believe is this thing, or that. Apply power to get moving. That's easy. Just hit R2, and we are good. Oh, look, it even gave us points for using the horn. Very, very nice. Doncaster, up, decoy, shunt, neck. All right, we got to stop there in about 2 miles. This is a pretty cool looking locomotive too. And it's not the only one that General Motors built for the British railroads. There was also the Class 59, which is more or less a British SD40-2. This one, with its 710 GE prime mover, is more or less the newer SD70. You know, you got the 6-wheel trucks here and 2 cabs. But the prime mover itself is the same as what we have in the SD70. Looks like the speed limit's gone up, so we're going to increase speed a little bit. I think we'll only go up to about 40. Actually, since the speed limit's going to go down to 15 again, we should stop accelerating now. And we have a red signal already. Huh. I wonder why. Obviously, if we pass the red signal, we will automatically fail the mission, and it will not allow us to do anything else. But thankfully, now that it turned yellow, we are safe to proceed. Let's double check and let's actually release more of that if we can. All right, good. Well, like I said, because the speed limit's going to go down to 15, I'm going to play it safe and leave it here. I mean, I know we're technically still speeding, but it also goes back up to 25. We do have a green signal, though, so could be worse. And it looks like we're going downhill a little bit, so we'll let gravity accelerate the locomotive for us. Save our fuel if we can. I mean, we probably have unlimited fuel, but I don't want to risk running out. Meanwhile, this lady seems to be content with just sitting there doing nothing while we take care of all the work. We only have 1 mile to go. Oh, that's nice. Something about this external view, I like how it's propped up here. It's kind of like you're filming a video or something. This is pretty nice. But as you can probably tell, my favorite view is just prop it up on the roof like this. Whoa, no, I don't know why the camera decided to go haywire like that. But here we go. This is the, in my opinion, the best view. And the autumn scenery looks pretty nice too. Look at that. This kind of reminds me of when I was filming a freight train in Bethlehem a couple years ago. Some pretty nice looking colors on the leaves. A lot of yellow, orange, and red. Pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. Speaking of Bethlehem, I definitely remember seeing a lot of those intermodal trains. The flat cars are a little different, but they still serve the same purpose for the most part. You carry a bunch of containers. We usually have 2 containers on one flat car, what they call double stack. Not all railroads in the United States do that. There's a few, like CSX, for instance, where they have all the flat cars carry only one container just like that. I guess it depends on what kind of tunnels you encounter on your route. All right. I think we might have been a bit too hard on the brakes there. Nope. I wanted to release the brakes. I've seen this on a few railroads, though. Sometimes they apply the brakes at a certain spot, and then you simply keep the throttle open. And I still love, too, how, even though this is the character you're playing as, the controls still move by themselves. That's just beautiful. All right, let's accelerate up to 5 miles an hour and try again. That was a little bit faster than I anticipated. I probably should have closed the throttle sooner, but based off of how fast we're going or how slow we're going, I'm sure we can stop in time for this. And who knows, there might have been an invisible brakeman that wanted to give us some coffee. I personally do not drink coffee, but it is a pretty popular drink. We probably actually could have gone a little bit faster. I think 9 miles an hour should be fine. Driver and conductor looking out to the right. It's a little depressing, though, how they both look emotionless. It's like, we're just going to sit here and do nothing and let this random person with the video game controller do our work for us. Imagine if that's how it worked in real life. Like, imagine just seeing a New Jersey Transit engineer or, like, anyone on the passenger train, and the passengers try to talk to him. It's like, hey, how you doing in there? It's like, I can't talk. I'm being controlled by someone. I don't understand why we had to stop all the way here to like. I'm sure if we stopped like somewhere further back, like by the bridge, that would have been totally fine. I mean, the switch for the track we need to go on to is like right there. So why it asks us to go back all the way there towards the buffers, I have no clue. But I guess rules are rules. I guess there's also a reason why some people say they are made to be broken. So it's saying 8:23 in the morning. No wonder it looks so beautiful out here. This is nice. Some of these flat cars, I bet we're probably going to have to couple up to later. We might do some switchy moves. Get some of these flat cars to certain locations where they can be loaded up with containers. Or maybe get the containers off of these flat cars. Anything's possible. Right. I think now would be a good time to apply the brakes. Not by much, though, because we're not going very fast. Oh, check it out, another 66. For a second, I thought the other locomotive was moving by itself. I couldn't really tell for a sec. I think we should be fine here. We'll come to a stop right here where it wants us to. Then we'll set the reverser away from reverse and see what's next. Leave the locomotive and head over to the first set of points where you'll be walked through your first task. All right, so we'll just hit triangle, get out, and see where we have to go from here. Walk to the junction, and it did say to set the points, so we have a train ready to leave the yard. Set the points needed for the train to get to the marked track. The points that need switching have been marked for you. I figured that's why we came here, so let's just change that. Set the junctions to create a path for the train. Alright, my assumption is that this also needs to be changed, so let's get that there. But in order to make things a little bit less complicated for us, let's also go back here to ensure that this gets changed. There you go. I think that's all of them. The train can now depart thanks to your help. Glad to be of service. This is a nice picture, too. Wait for the train to clear the yard. That's fine. I assume to take pictures you hit the share button, but I also don't want to risk ruining the recording. Let me just do that for a second, see what happens. Alright. Hopefully that doesn't get ruined. Or you know what I could have done? I could have saved the recording first, then take the screen. Sorry, then take the screenshot. Oh, we got to wait here? Really? Do we have to be in this exact spot? Because, I mean, I see a train coming towards us, and, you know, it says that we should not be standing on train tracks when a train is approaching. I really do not feel like getting run over, so we'll just stay over here. It would be nice if there was a bit more variety. Like, I know it's cool. Hang on. Another train is approaching. We'll need point switch. Set the point so the train can get to the marked track. Try doing this one yourself. Well, that depends. Set the junctions to create a path for the train. All right, well, I think it would be easier if we just do it from here. So, we just got to change these once, and that should be everything required for this part of the mission. I'm going to assume this one cannot be changed. Hopefully We did what we were required to do. Well, it's still saying set the junctions to create a path, so maybe... Oh, there's more here. I see now. Was that correct? There's still one last train needing help. This one will need a place to stop and reverse first before being able to reach its destination. Okay, so far so good. We've done everything the correct way we needed to do. Set the junctions to create a path for this train. I see. Well, this one's nearby, so I'm going to assume that all we got to do is just throw this switch here. Let the locomotive go to that marker there. Hang on, no, that's not right. If it's going to move, it needs to be set here. Then once it gets there, we'll switch it back so that it can go onto the other track here. Yeah, it'll be cool if you could just jump onto one of these flat cars or just relax and take a seat. I mean, it's not like it's going to be going anywhere anytime soon. What is SFFGGMRRSS? I'd like to know, is that a real company or is that just something made up? All right, now we can throw it back. Then we're also going to double check to ensure that this is... Yep, it is. We are fine. This, on the other hand, also does not need to be changed. So we are fine. The locomotive can reverse over to there. We can just sit back and look pretty. Good job. Next up is shunting. Let's test your skills by moving some wagons into a siding. Head back to the locomotive and stop just before the junction ahead. All right. I guess we'll just hop up in here. Sit in the seat. Stop at location Doncaster up decoy CCE through road. Alrighty. Let's release the brakes then. And we can proceed. Yeah, it's a nice engine to listen to. Something about General Motors, I always like a lot of the stuff they did. They also had a really good passenger locomotive called the F40PH, which has been in use on passenger trains since 1976. First with Amtrak, then moved on to a bunch of different railroads. I actually filmed some on Metro North. I also saw a few on Metra, Caltrain, and I know they're used on a few other railroads like Via in Canada, as well as further up north, MBTA, a commuter railroad in Massachusetts. As a matter of fact, MBTA stands for Massachusetts Bay Transit Authority. I think we're good. Now we just gotta do that. I didn't think I'd be able to pull it off like that, but we are good. Let's release the brakes, double check to see Doncaster Airport Cripple 2. I think I know where that is, but like I said, let's just double check and ensure that we are going the correct way. All right, that has been switched there. The Cripple track. Okay, so that's actually over there. Why did we have to leave all the way there, though? I mean, I'm pretty sure we could have just gone a shorter distance. Who's in charge of this railway? Like, do you realize how much diesel costs? Are you trying to make this railway go bankrupt? I don't know, I probably said this earlier, but this is really nice. I like looking at all these. All the scenery and detail that they put in here, it's just really nice. So I might be doing this wrong. They probably wanted us to couple up to those cars because they did say we'd be doing some shunting, but I think if it wanted us to couple up to those cars first, it would have said couple up to the cars. All it said was to just get to this location, and that is what we're about to do. Now we couple up to the cars. We'll just throw this switch. Actually, I think it's already been thrown for us. I can't reach. And it actually has not been thrown for us. We got to change it. Then we'll go back. Change the reverser once more. Release the brakes. And we should be ready to proceed. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if I had to put the brakes on again. You don't want to go too fast towards these things. It takes a great amount of throttle and brakes, sometimes running both at once, just to make sure you don't go too fast when coupling up to these cars. Flatbeds, rolling stock, trucks, whatever you want to call it. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to apply the brakes now. Not by much, but at least just enough so we can slow down without being too reckless. All right, looking promising. Just a little bit more. I think if we were going like 1 or 2 miles an hour, we would have been fine. I didn't intend to slow down like that at all. Okay, whoa, no. You're going too far away. Maybe we can still couple up. Excellent, all right. These wagons have their handbrakes on. You'll need to release the handbrakes on each wagon before we can move them. Are there handbrakes on this side or elsewhere? We don't want to uncouple them. Ah, they're here. All right, those have been released. Now we'll move on to the other one here. I like too how they use chains. I'm not sure how it works, but just the fact that they have chains for the handbrakes, that's pretty cool. Now we got to set some points and move these wagons to a siding. Let's see which siding we have to go to. All right, so we got to change this. Come on, this. And now we should be good to proceed. We might have to put the handbrakes on once again by the time we get these two flatbeds to where they need to be. Sounds like somebody's alarm is going off for their car. I also heard police sirens earlier. All right, let's put the brakes back on. Now uncouple from the wagons and bring this locomotive back to Doncaster where we will end this exercise. All right, so uncouple. Looks like we are good to go. Stop at location. Doncaster up decoy. Shunt neck. All right. Why do they call this a reverser, though, if it also allows your locomotive to go forward? They should just call it the direction controller, or DC for short. Reverser doesn't make sense. I mean, it's great that it's allowing us to go in reverse right now, but when we're not going in reverse, it doesn't make sense to call it a reverser. Ah, damn it, come on. I was hoping that the train would stop moving. It would be nice if we could have the camera in this view stay stationary instead of following the train everywhere it goes in the exact same speed it does, but at least we're good to go. I can't remember if it was episode 2 or 3, but I know I mentioned somewhere that I wanted to drive more steam engines. So it'll be pretty cool to do that. I gotta buy some more DLC, of course. There's not many steam engines to begin with, but the fact that they're all British, I like what they have, but it'll be cool if you had some more variety, like do some more steam engines from my country or Germany, France, Australia. There's a lot of great steam engines out there that aren't British. I'm not saying anything bad about it, of course. I respect everything they've done, but just throwing out a suggestion. A simple, polite suggestion with no intentions of disrespect. I'm sure there will be a lot of other people out there that agree with me, and hell, even throwing some more British engines. You know, I mean, you only got like 4 so far. Like, get some of the Pannier tank engines, maybe some Moguls, a few more Pacifics wouldn't hurt. I think there's also a 282 that they have called Cock of the North. Not sure why it has that specific name, but I have seen that engine a few times, and I gotta say, it looks pretty nice. All right. Now that we're done, we're going to go to the break room, enjoy a cup of tea. Or actually, no, we got to go somewhere else. Doncaster Platform 2. Back to where we started. Fine by me. It would appear that the switches should be automatically set for us to get back there, so let us once again adjust the reverser. And we should be good to go. It looks like these two are still speechless, not seeming to care about what happens or where they're going. Oh, look, we can see our shadow. Now, if you guys want me to try and do different external views besides this one, like if you want me to go like further back so you can see more of the engine or more side views like what I did earlier, simply let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to take any suggestions or feedback that you guys throw at me. It's nice too to engage with your audience. Now you got a lot of people that post comments. Anything you guys have to say, I'm content to listen. Hey, this is a nice view too. Imagine, let's pretend that the camera is on a different vehicle traveling on the rails and getting this view. That would be really, really nice. Huh, looks like somebody got a little careless and spilled some diesel all over this tank. Or some kind of residue. Just because this is a diesel tank doesn't mean it's necessarily diesel. I mean, there could also be some oil or some other kind of liquid on here. Or maybe you got some careless idiot that decided to put gasoline in there. That would be terrible. Something about the LNER logo looks really, really nice. I like that. I mean, I know it's just a simple LNER, but there is beauty in simplicity. I mean, just look at that. That is really nice. Especially the way the N looks. I mean, how that's different from the rest of the lettering. I just like that a lot. There's another one right there, too. Well, we're getting pretty close now. About half a mile to go, and then once we stop there, then the mission will be over. But as you probably already know, I'm happy to get more episodes cranked out of this series. Always enjoy trains, games, so to combine the two, do a game with trains, that's always a nice bonus. Oh crap, we got a red signal. We should come to a stop for this. Maybe it'll change when we get closer. I'm not sure. Yep, there we go. We're good now. I bet you if I coasted through there without stopping, the switch would have eventually turned yellow, but I didn't want to get too careless and risk failing the mission. We made it this far. I want to succeed. And I know we got in trouble for speeding in a few scenarios, but I think we will finally get that gold medal for this. All right. There seems to be a lot of people happy with our presence there. They're looking towards us instead of on the passenger train that they're supposed to get on. Like, oh, look, a freight locomotive. Let's enjoy this before we get on our train. And bingo, just where we want to be. Stop at Doncaster South Carriage Siding 2. Okay, fair enough. I mean, you don't want a locomotive like this randomly parked in a siding where people can have access to it. They could probably steal it with ease. Then again, that's why there's two of us in here. We won't allow anyone to steal it. Now again, I'm sure the switches are automatic for us. For our next location, doesn't look like we could change them, so I'm going to assume that everything is set to where we need him to be. All right. We are good. Now that our locomotive is safe, we have officially ended the mission. So, like I said, we got a bit of a punishment for speeding. We lost just under 600 points, but I told you we'd finally get that gold medal. We scored 3,755. We also leveled up to 6. We got level 4 on the Class 66 and level 3 on the Peterborough to Doncaster line. So, very good to do that. Like I said, in the next episode, we will be driving the 801 on some passenger service. Until then, thank you guys for joining me in this episode, and I hope to see you again soon.